Hello, it's Markham Torch Chief Markham 3D, and today we're going to be creating these holders which can hold laminated paper or thick cardboard or even kind of D&D characters if you don't want to actually buy models and get models. So let's start off. Delete the default cube, Shift A, let's add in the default cube. It's a running joke, that's why I did it. So from now I'm going to press Tab to go into edit mode, and I'm going to bring up these four to the top. So I'm going to select that bottom face, G, Z, 1. And now that's on 0. From here, I'm going to make the base about 5mm, but actually we should first get our scaling right. So at the moment, one of these squares is 1mm. So at the moment, we're at 2mm. Now I want to make this about an inch or 25mm. An inch is 25.4. Let's actually make it 24mm just to round out the numbers. So I've got 2mm, so I'm going to scale by 12. There we go. And whoops, oh well, let's bring this back up here. Now I want to put this back on 0, so I'm going to press N to bring up the side panel, item, and currently the Z is at minus 5.5. I'm going to change that to 0, so now we're back on the 0. So let's have a look how tall this is at the moment. So at the moment this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I reckon we can get away with probably 2mm, so I'm going to select the top face by pressing B to box select. And just like we did here, I'm going to make this 2mm high. And the center bit here, I want to be about, probably about 10mm big. So let's just make it 8mm big for given's sake. First thing I'm going to do is do a Control R to put in an edge loop, left click, so I can select that face, and then right click to put it back in the middle. What I want to do is I want to put the mirror modifier on there, so I only have to work with one side. So I'm going to press V button to rip, and then which side do I like to work on? I normally like to work on the right hand side, so I'm going to select that. Control L to select everything that's linked, delete face. Let's come over here to the spanner and add in a modifier and a mirror modifier on the Y axis. So from here, because we're holding a small laminated paper, I kind of want to make a kind of like an upside down L shape now. So it's going to be a bit of a slot here and then a piece here kind of like pushing it together. So from here, I'm going to do left click and let's put it at about the 2mm mark. I'm going to add in another one and there we go. So we've got that now. From here, I'm going to select this top face. We'll come into side view again and extrude that on the Z axis by about 8, and that brings us to the top. So now if I go into solid mode, we've got this lip in here, whatever you want to call it. So now what I want to do is I'm going to add in a small section in here so that you actually have to push the piece of paper in so it actually stays in there. So from here, let's go edge loop again, Control R, and we'll make it about here. From here, let's grab this section and E. I don't want to go all the way in, but let's have just a small gap like that. So how big is this gap? This gap is 0.15mm. And let's just go a little bit closer. So if I go GY, there we go. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to make it a little bit easier, I'm going to right click on this edge after I've done edge select. And this section here. Now I'm going to do Control B to do a bevel and then mouse wheel up. And so now we've kind of got this beautifulness. From here, I don't like the square. I think we might round this up. So just like we did before, Alt right click now to select these, Control B. All right, how does that look? To me, that looks pretty good. I'm going to select these here, because when we print them, they're not going to be very round. So I'm just going to come back in and let's just re-round it, mouse wheel up a little bit more. And I missed one, Control Z, Shift right click. I've got them all now, Control B. There we go. And to me, that's not too bad. Probably could be a little bit better. That's fine. I'm going to come up here and select bevel. just to give that a little bit definition. It's not probably going to do much, but let's bump up the bevel. And what I'll turn down is limit mode to angle. So only things that are greater than 30 degrees will get a bevel. So that's a little bit too big right now. So let's put it like so. Beautiful. So from here, we can save the blend file. But what we want to do is now export. So File, Export, STL. And so I'm just going to call it Paper Holder. Over here on the left, I want to do Selected Only, Z Up. Beautiful. Let's click Export STL. So now let's jump over into Cura. So now we're in Cura. Let's open our STL. And what did we call it? Paper Holder. Okay. And so that's what our paper holder looks like. Let's now just check our settings. I'm using a 0.4 nozzle. And let's click on dynamic quality, bring that down. I want to just go standard quality. I just kind of want to smash it out a little bit. Now this is something I forgot to think about, is supports. So at the moment, we're going to have a whole bunch of supports in here, which is not what we want because that means it's extra work. So let's come back into Blender. I'm going to grab this edge in here, GZ, and let's just kind of go move that down. What we'll do is we'll press G and that'll be able to move it. And if I press G again, it's going to follow that line that it already has. And I'm just going to do it on the next one, just to kind of get that nice prettiness in there, I guess. File, Export, STL, Export. And we'll save that. Come into Cura. Let's delete this, open, and paper holder. So now we're not going to have to worry about those supports. Now let's have a look. Everything else looks fine. We kind of just want to blitz through this. So let's just go slice. 14 minutes. Let's preview. And nothing out of the ordinary. It all looks fine. Let's just do this. Beautiful. To me, that looks quite nice. Beautiful. Let's save to removable drive and let's print it off. And there we have it, a quick and simple way to create these paper holders. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out and keeps you up to date with my content.